And can you each introduce us to your characters in the series?
Well, my character is Sheriff Mike. He is the duly elected sheriff of this town of Patience, Colorado, where the show is set. And he is a highly suspicious, highly skeptical, uh, overly aggressive at times, um, very serious law enforcement officer in his mind, uh, and rules the town with an iron fist.
Like the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And I play Mayor Ben Hawthorne. And I'm originally from Patience, Colorado, and I've recently moved back to run for office, became mayor of this town, and now am dealing with uh, the first murder in this town in like 100 years, and am a bit over my head, kind of having a meltdown, and just trying not to get impeached. Can you impeach a mayor? I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Well, as you guys are preparing to work on a project that's being adapted from a popular comic book series, how much of the source material do you use as a frame of reference?
Myself personally, I had the first issue of Resident Alien, but I didn't continue reading it because I knew the series was going to be so different, and I didn't want to have any expectation that either that could potentially be disappointing if it didn't happen, or to have any anxiety about something that was going to happen in the comic version that maybe I wasn't as into, as opposed to the storytelling that we're doing. And it's so I think the foundation of the show obviously is rooted in the comic, but the storytelling kind of branches out in some new directions that I think will be enough of the comic that the comic fans can still watch the show and feel like they're seeing the characters in the comic that they know, while at the same time people who aren't familiar with the comic can come in and watch the show and still feel fully immersed and embrace the storytelling without needing to know the comic book route.
Yeah, and I'd kind of parrot what Corey said, and my character was just so different in the comic that I thought it would be more to my benefit and the benefit of the show if I didn't read it beforehand, just and kind of let it be its own thing and let the show be its own thing, and then get to enjoy the comic book after we wrap, just so I wasn't kind of steering myself in the wrong direction, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you've all spoken about the collaborative environment that showrunner Chris Sheridan created on set. How did that freedom impact the way you approached and shaped your characters?
I mean, it affected everything. I mean, Chris is. I've said this before. I would follow Chris into a lake of fire if he told me it wasn't hot. Notice I said follow him because I'd let him go first to see if he bursted into flames. But he's a genuinely kind person and extremely talented and gifted with a pen. So there's a tremendous amount of trust, I think, that exists on both sides. And I think as we started filming and as we the actors started falling into our characters and started the improvisation process, we we trusted him obviously because of what he put on the page, and the more we improvised, I think the more he trusted us to give these characters the seasoning that make them unique to us and let us give them a voice in various ways as well. I had never worked on a series like that where you can get to the day of filming and literally toss the script out and start saying new stuff. Like that's very, very unique. And I
Yeah,
think it serves the show well. Levi?
yeah, I would totally agree. I've never worked with someone. It seems like you usually get one of two things. It's either I've worked with people who are like, this is what's in the script and I want it verbatim, like there's a comma there, you need to put, like they're so specific and like holding on so tight. And then I've also worked with people who are like, like writing some other side project or something while they're there directing the show, and like just don't, they're very hands off and they're like, no, it's great, moving on, like they seem like they don't care. And Chris is, he's so hands-on and invested, but without being controlling or like holding the leash too tight, reins too tight.
Excellent way to describe it.
I don't know. He's just like, there's like no ego there, but he cares so much at the same time. Yeah. He's like my favorite showrunner that I've ever worked with.
Without question.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as an insult to other showrunners that I've worked with. Y'all are
either.
Right? but yeah, without question, he's a unique dude.
Yeah, and then speaking of your characters, if you had to summarize their arc in the first season in one sentence, what would it be?
Oh, Levi, you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I'll try. I think for Ben's arc would just be just like stepping into his own adultness, like just finding his own inner strength, I think.
Yeah, and I think
with everything, with work, with family stuff, with just standing up for himself in general.
Yeah, and I think with Mike, it probably boils down to he maybe discovers, I'm trying to think of how to word this without giving away anything, but I think he discovers he's only right 99% of the time in his mind. Yeah. I think that's about as much as he would give, that he's not right 100% of the time.